Hi, my name's V, and I'm the founder of Connect to Accountants, the place where people come to learn financy stuff in an easy to understand way. In this video, I'll help you understand the definition of expense. Expenses is not the same as expenditure, that is just spending money, because expenses don't necessarily involve the direct spending of money. Okay, so when you have an expense, it doesn't necessarily mean that money goes out straight away at that point in time. And secondly, when you do spend money, not everything you spend on is an expense. Confusing? Well, then what's an expense? Well, the accounting meaning of an expense is a reduction in value of an asset as it is used to generate revenue. What does that even mean? So the easiest way to understand this, through examples. Let's start with a simple example. You own a cafe. You run this cafe out of a building and you pay rent so that you can use this building. You agree to pay $100 every Friday for the use of the building, okay, for the week. This $100 a week is something you owe. So even if you don't pay in cold hard cash, the $100, you still have that expense. You've already used up the rent for that week, and so that is an expense. So even if you don't pay it. Let's look at this in how the accounting system would work. So in every event, we record two things. One on the green side, one on the red side. So with the expense, $100 a week to use the building, we'll put that into building, just to make it simple. $100 to use that building. But then instead of paying them directly in cash, we're going to say that we owe them this $100. So we'll put that in an IOU. So $100 to increase that IOU. There are times when expenses don't actually involve cash directly at all. So for example, depreciation. You can check out the video for depreciation here. But essentially, when you own something, like a truck, you use that truck for work. Your truck has been purchased with cash. So you reduce your cash and you get a truck. When you reduce the value of that truck through depreciation, you record the amount that would go into the expense called depreciation expense and reduce the value of the truck as a whole. So depreciation is saying we've used this truck, but we also reduce the value in it because when we use it, we put a lot of wear and tear. We can't sell it for the same price we purchased. So we need to record that somehow. That's depreciation. Depreciation is an expense. So going back to that dictionary meaning, reduction in value of an asset used to generate revenue. So your truck helped you generate revenue if you were using it in a business, and you reduce the value of that truck. So reduction in asset used to generate revenue. Lastly, not everything that is spent in your business is an expense. So just assume you go out and use your cash to buy a van to use in your business. Well, first, there's a reduction in your cash, but that cash has been changed so that you could buy yourself a van. That van is something you own. It's not really an expense because you don't use it up like you do with rent. In fact, you actually keep it and you can sell it later on. So what you've done here is you've purchased a van using cash. So your asset of cash goes down and your asset of a van goes up. So you've spent to purchase an asset, not spent for an expense. In terms of the van, when that van decreases in value through depreciation, then it's an expense. So I hope you enjoyed this definition of expense. Please leave a comment below. What type of expenses do you have?